lot of people I've met is like, it's not possible because you look what I think a straight person looks like, you know. You're chasing something different than I. Hi.
Hello.
My name is Paula.
I'm Fiadh. Lovely to meet you.
Same.
Tell us your story. Who are you?
Oh my God.
Starting easy.
My name is Paula Martinez. I'm 24 years old. I'm Brazilian Ecuadorian, and I came here 5 years ago to study my politics career in UCD. And yeah, and now I just finished my master in racial issues and migration issues, and I did my thesis on Black Irish belonging in the Irish community.
I'm Fiadh Melina. It's my name, and I am a mom, kind of mostly at the moment. I'm between studies. I did a master's in creative writing after a politics and classics degree, and I will be going back doing classics for very long term in the future. But mostly at the moment I'm working with asylum seekers, providing maternity kits for new moms and things like that. So that's my main focus at the moment.
Yeah. Do you have to come out?
Do you have to come out? I didn't. I just kind of am a person that just kind of goes with the flow of things, and I never think about what's kind of going on the inside, probably as a deflective thing, but it worked out, let's say, sexuality-wise, because I just kind of was what I was, and my parents were, I was lucky, my parents are pretty chill for the most part, and coming out was never a big thing. I know it's an event, like it's an event for a lot of people, but it didn't need to be for me, and I guess I'm quite fortunate with that. Yeah.
I'm actually the same.
Yeah.
And most queer people I meet, like, they really don't agree with me.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's also part of it, like, it's a bit privileged to be cis and bisexual, you know, because I think no one pressures you to come out either, you know, if you're bisexual. So I never came out, and I just don't think I need to come out.
No, yeah.
Like, ever. Like, even my parents taught me that, like, there is queer people, there's people that are not queer, and that's it, you know, and that's the story. Like, they have always been very, like, just is people's thing, and that's it.
Yeah, basically.
So, like, yeah, even to them, I feel like I don't need to tell them anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just really think that it's no one's business, you get me? Who I like or not, or who I want to be or not. You are dating a man. It seems like not a question.
I'm actually polyamorous, so I don't date multiple people and genders at once. So that's kind of the answer to that.
So
how about you? Yeah.
I am dating a man, and I'm very happy, and we've been together for a while.
What is bi-erasure, and how do you feel when you are erased from the LGBT and straight communities?
To me, I feel it's like a bit of give and take. I don't know if that's the right expression. English is not my native. But I feel like when you're bisexual, I do believe we have a privilege. And a lot of bisexual people I know are like, don't like to talk about it. But for example, now that I'm dating a man, and because I'm cisgender, it's like everyone can think I'm just not part of the queer community, you know? So straight, and then you don't get a lot of like homophobia and stuff like that. So I feel like it is true that we can pass for straight. But I do believe at the same time, if for you it's part of, like, you're very proud of your identity as a queer person, and like you want to be part of the queer community and all of these LGBTQ activities that are in your city or whatever, and then people tell you you're not gay enough or things like that, I think it's a bit not okay, you know? Because not because you're dating a guy, it takes away how you feel naturally about other people.
Funnily, like, I found I didn't like the label bisexual. Like, I identify as queer. I just feel like it's super nice and broad, kind of the way I view my gender and sexuality. It's just everything's broad and out in the kind of, we'll see, take it day by day kind of thing. But I think part of the reason I didn't like it was because of bi-erasure and not knowing what it actually meant. You know, there's a lot of people will say that bisexuality is transphobic because they don't understand that it doesn't just, you know, mean you're into cisgendered people. Things like that, I think, make bi-erasure more of a thing because people are afraid to actually just look up what it means fully. So that was kind of a weird thing I had with the term bisexuality. I still have like a moment where I'm like, I never liked using it for myself, which was interesting.
But me too, for the same thing of like, I don't think I need to come out to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't enter a room and be like, but even to me it's with blackness, you know, or with being a migrant. I don't like labels like that. I feel it just puts you in a tiny box, you know? And I think people are too dumb to not see you in that box.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't like coming in and be like, I'm black, bisexual, I'm a, you know? It's like, okay, 300 labels.
Keep it.
Yeah,
keep it.
like I'm a human being and it changes.
Yeah.
Very different ethnic backgrounds, you know? It's like...
For sure.
Here it says, statement, can I watch? I don't understand. I don't know if it's a cultural thing.
So I think this is like a fetishizing and exoticizing kind of thing of by women in particular get on dating apps a lot, or just in like typically straight relationships. I've heard, like, I haven't experienced this personally, but I know people can want to watch, you know, women getting it on, basically, as a, basically that's kind of, can I watch, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I feel like just doesn't happen to other people as much. Like, if you get a straight cis male on a dating app, they're not gonna, if you have like any sort of queerness in your profile, they're a lot more likely to do that. And it's just, not cool.
What is it like to raise a child in a queer relationship?
So I'm not in a long-term relationship anymore, but I was dating a woman for quite a long time, and I was single before that. Like, I'm a single parent first and foremost, and I have gotten a lot of, from close people as well, just hearing, oh, but don't they need a strong male figure? And it just negates, like, first and foremost, the happiness of the child, because if you look at my daughter, like, she is just buzzing with sunshine, happiness all the time. And I think that's first the most important thing, even if she doesn't sleep.
Vaseline is legit the happiest child I've seen.
She's so, and she has such a strong community of predominantly aunties around her, you know. But I also think it negates kind of, you know, the fluid, like, masculinity, femininity in all of us individually, which kind of annoys me the most, I think, out of all of it. I'm like, but I can provide enough of that. First of all, because I have to, but second of all, because, you know, none of us are fixed in what we can provide, and I think it's far more important that she sees me in a happy relationship or no relationship than what it, you know, the alternative could be.
Inside America, like, the woman, the mom, the grandma is like the strongest figure in the family. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, they raise everyone, and it's not like, I talk this a lot with people. It's not so much like here, like just parents and the kid, and that's it. like inside America, it's like a community more that raises you, you know, even in modern times. But the women are kind of everything.
Yeah.
And to me, for example, in my case, up until I was, I think, 15, my dad was barely home because he was working so much. So my mom was everything. So to me, it makes complete no sense, you know? Like, also, as you say, for example, I believe fully that all of us have a lot of masculine and a lot of feminine. Yeah. But even those words don't exist, you know? They're different, like, qualities and stuff that we really have put, like, a label on it.
Yeah. What is the biggest misconception, in your opinion, of being a queer woman?
To me, the only thing, actually, that pisses me off, because we're a bit backwards back home, in my belief, you know, LGBTQ rights and, like, how to talk about it. But they talk, oh, but you're so feminine. How can you like girls? You're so feminine, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's super, super horrible. Like,
sure.
I don't know why it makes me super angry. I'm like, being queer doesn't mean you look any certain way or you have to act any certain way or you have any, like, preference on how you dress, wearing makeup, how you speak. Like, I hate that. Yeah. And for a lot of people I've met, it's like, it's not possible because you look what I think a straight person looks like, you know?
If you don't look, quote unquote, butch, you're not a real queer person or whatnot. But I also think there's a weird one of, like, if, let's say, sex is not penetrative, that it's not valid as sex, which is a thing that queer women get a lot. And I'm like,
I just think it's
why
so
though?
ridiculous.
It's so,
like,
let's move on.
I just think people are so, I honestly, like, thankfully, I think for a while now, I've been around only black queer people, or just queer people, or people that, even if they're straight and cisgender, they're super open-minded, you know? So to me, when I hear things like that, I'm like, it's just ridiculous, you know? Yeah. Like, you lose faith in the world. Like.
You do. On the daily.
Yeah. Like, also because sex is not just penetration.
No,
even when you're with a guy,
that's the thing, isn't
you know?
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I'm sorry, but I can have sex all the time and not be penetrated all those times.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Okay, ridiculous.
Move on.
A statement. Don't you just want that threesome?
This is the same one. This one I have gotten.
Don't you just want that threesome?
Without, I mean, this has happened a lot where, you know, a person will see that you are queer and they will just talk to you basically asking for a threesome with either another randomer or what's it called? Or a girlfriend, and just assume that you are into it because you are queer. And this happens all the time on apps, which is just very...
Well, to me, I'm like, if your fantasy is group sex, that's your fantasy, you get me?
Yeah.
And like, that's completely fair and stuff. Like, but that doesn't mean, like, it's just going again. All of our sex education
it's
is
the
so
way it's
wrong.
asked. You know exactly when it's coming from a place of, like, openness or a place of, I just want to live out this kind of...
But it's also, we don't understand anything. We don't understand what you like as a fantasy, what fantasies are. We understand what gender is, different to sexuality, different to what you like to do in the bed. O sea, we don't understand anything. It's incredible. Yeah. What privilege do you have as a queer woman?
I don't know if you have a good...
No, it's super complicated to answer.
There's so many, and it's simple at the same time. Like, obviously, there's obvious things. You know, I'm white, so therefore I have, you know, a lot of privileges from that. But I'm a single parent. That pulls me back, let's say, financially, class-wise. There's a big drop. There's different things, different experiences going on all the time that I just...
And it's the same. I was thinking actually about that coming here. I don't know why, but because I didn't study, I'm sorry. But as a queer woman, me, myself, I would say, and let's say a queer black woman, I have the privilege of, like, I'm very light-skinned, and I would say maybe, I don't know if it's qualified as a privilege, but the fact that you can pass as straight, you know, because of that joke that we talked, that
Yeah.
people think if you look feminine, you are, you know, you're straight. So, yeah, I would say that. Oh, is it harder being a queer person of color?
Well,
yeah, yes. Many times in that I've talked a lot in my thesis, which is pretty interesting because a lot of the people that I interviewed were queer Black Irish people. And it's like one thing in your identity is like the blackness, and then another thing is the queerness. And for example, in many like Black sphere, the queerness wouldn't be accepted, you know? So it's like, tone your queerness down or don't present it in order to be happy in that Black environment, you know? Or like when you're with your queer white friends, tone the blackness down, you know? It's like you always have to choose because we are unable to see people as complex individuals that are a mosaic of identities, you know?
Yeah.
We just cannot do that in our brains.
what is one thing the world needs right now?
Just asking for what people need, you know?
Yeah,
I think there is a culture of like, it's grand, you know?
for sure.
Keep it down. But like, there's so many issues, like everywhere, but it seems that in other places it's more okay to just like go for it.
Posh culture.
Yeah.
Just listening
Yeah.
to everybody would be nice.
Yeah. Not thinking that you know everything.
Yeah.
I would love if kids were taught that people are like a mosaic of identities and that they can get out of them, go into them, change, you know?
Things aren't fixed.
Yeah, the human beings are not like 3 blocks of something and
We never have been.
yeah.
Another 2,000 years maybe.
Thanks, man.
You're chasing something